Agenda producer Eric Bombicino joins us now here on the set to talk to us about a trip that you took back in February, a place that has been in the headlines lately for all the wrong reasons. Tell us about your trip.
Pikangikum, Ontario is about 500 kilometers northwest of Thunder Bay, and it is a community which the living conditions there are appalling. It is said to likely have the highest suicide rate in the world. And just to throw out some quick facts, 80% of the homes don't have running water or indoor toilets. They have a housing crisis that continues to get worse. They have about 400 homes. They need 250 more new homes. And they can't build those because they don't have the energy to power them. They are off the grid, and they run on diesel generators that are rickety, aging, and produce really only unreliable energy for the community.
What took you up there?
It was a Energy Access Fellowship given by Waterloo Global Science Initiative and Discourse Media. So I was there to report on their generators. And what I found is, I didn't really know what to expect, but energy is sort of an upstream issue that trickles its way into every aspect of the community. So I wrote an article, 3,000 word, it's long, but the issue is complex, on how energy limits this community at every turn. So it affects infrastructure, it affects education, it affects food security, it affects individual mental and physical health. It really does weave its way into every aspect of life.
I read the piece, it's a real eye-opener. About a place that we don't tend to think about very much, except when it makes the kinds of appalling headlines as it did a week ago. What happened?
On Tuesday night, a family of 9 were killed in a fire. 6 adults and 3 children. Fire services in Pikangikum are lacking. They have 1 fire engine. It did not have water at the time of the fire. They had to go to the central area to a water station there, and then they couldn't get through the roads because the roads are deplorable in the spring. Really, this is a tip of iceberg for a community that lacks the services that we expect, or that we have in Southern Ontario.
Yeah, we take for granted.
After visiting there, I really can't say that all of Canada is part of the developed world, because Pikangikum simply isn't.
Isidore Day, who's the Ontario Regional Chief, had this to say after the fire: "Our people are living in substandard living conditions, and this is the result. We need to bring our communities into the 21st century. Substandard is not a standard that we can live with any longer." You've been there. He's not off the mark on that, is he?
Well, in the press release, he also said third world conditions. Yeah, picture this. So you have no running water in 80% of the homes. So where do you get your water? So families, sometimes, some of them have trucks, but a lot of them have to take sleds. They have to put buckets on the sleds and haul them out to standpipes, right? So this can be in minus 30, minus 40 Celsius in the winter. And then they have to come back. Now, their diesel generator, when I was there, the main one broke down. It's 18 years old. The expected shelf life for these generators are 10.
What was the temperature when it broke down?
When it broke down, it was minus 20. It was minus 20 when I was there. I don't know the day when it broke down. So you'll have families that will haul these buckets of water back, and boil water advisories are constant. So you have to boil the water. But if there's rolling blackouts, if there's outages, you can't boil the water. And a lot of the families, I was told by a nursing station worker, rely on powdered formula for infants. So what do you do at that point?
A more reliable stream of energy would mean what to Pikangikum?
The issues in Pikangikum are multi-layered and complex. So there was a coroner's report on 16 youth suicides between 2006 and 2008 in Pikangikum. And they looked at everything from colonialism to residential schools to that trauma that reverberates into the present. So you have infrastructure deficits, you have governance deficits, you have social issues, you have all these profoundly complex problems in suicide. And you have all this grief that rolls through the community, and it's this positive feedback loop. So energy is not a magic bullet. But what energy can allow is a platform for them to grow and build. So they have 90% unemployment in this community. They can't build any more businesses because the diesel generators are maxed out. They can't grow the northern store, which is where the only place you can get groceries in the community. They can't grow that. They can't hook up new homes to power, so even if they put the funding together to build them, they can't. The new federal budget has a lot of money for homes and for water and wastewater systems in First Nations communities. But in Pikangikum, until they get reliable energy and abundant energy, that money is for naught, because they cannot hook these homes up. But it will give them an opportunity to grow and flourish. But it will not heal all the problems that are constant in the community.
Yeah. Eric, you mentioned that this was all part of the WGSI, the Global Science Initiative, out of Waterloo. We're heading there later this month. Why don't you just finish up by telling people what's up?
Yeah, so on April 25th, 26th, and 27th, we are going to be in Waterloo at the Perimeter Institute, and they're doing what they're calling the Open Access Energy Summit. So the idea is that about a third of people on Earth don't have access to reliable energy. 1.1 billion have no access to energy. So this summit is about, well, what can we do about that? What are the renewable energy solutions? What are the obstacles that stand in the way, and so forth. So we're going to be doing 3 shows. The first is on First Nations energy access in Canada. Ontario we're going to look at, but also we're going to have some representatives from BC. The second one is on ending energy poverty. So this question of, we've got a third that have no access to energy, what can we do? And the third one is about, Bill Gates recently said that he predicts we will have a game-changing energy breakthrough in 15 years. So we're going to talk about the future of energy and what the current state of renewables are, and that shift. And do we need a game-changing breakthrough to essentially avert climate catastrophe and hit emissions targets from Paris?
Thanks for telling us about that. Thanks for your reporting in Pikangikum. TVO.org is the website where people can read your piece, which is absolutely must-reading.
Okay.
Thanks, Eric.
Cheers.
Help TVO create a better world through the power of learning. Visit supporttvo.org and make a tax-deductible donation today.